Very good afternoon, friends. Welcome to the webinar of Hello Kids, the Saturday webinar of Hello Kids. And today we are going to learn about how to make virtual learning more engaging, exciting, and effective. So, before moving forward, let me introduce our guest speaker for today. So, our guest speaker for today is Miss Kiran Singh. She is a facilitator and has been facilitating learning for the last 23 years. She has her longest association with the International School of Bangalore, that is almost 16 years. She is a mentor and has been actively involved in navigating young minds and improving learning and teaching. So, welcome, Kiran ma'am. Over to you now.
Thank you for introducing me, Samapika. And
Okay.
thank you, Hello Kids, for giving me this platform and the opportunity to share my thoughts and experiences. Hi, viewers. A very good afternoon to all of you. Hope you're all doing fine, following the precautions, the safety norms, and keeping others and yourselves healthy. Thank you for joining us today. And today, as Samapika mentioned, today's webinar is about making virtual lessons engaging, exciting, and effective. So as we continue with remote learning and virtual classrooms due to the pandemic, the enthusiasm for online learning that was visible in our students initially seems to have been declining, and eventually a kind of monotony is prevailing over. Indeed, it is an indefinite and unusual situation, and we are unsure when we'll be able to begin with our regular physical classrooms. But thanks to technology, that we are able to continue learning remotely from our homes. Honestly speaking, the home environment is surrounded by potential distractions, and keeping students engaged, motivated, and interested in their lessons is one of the biggest challenges that we are facing right now. Certainly, connecting via the webcam isn't always easy, and it takes creativity to keep students' brains stimulated. In fact, teaching online requires different skill sets compared to those used to teach in person. I think all of you will agree with me if I say this. Now, so at this point, the question is, how to make the online classroom experience more exciting and engaging for our students. And almost all the teachers do question themselves what and how can make the learners happy in their classrooms. Well, there is technology at your rescue and, of course, creativity in your possession to wade through this and progress. And what I know about the preschool teachers is, in fact, I can vouch that they are expert at understanding young children's mind, dealing with their behavior, and creating motivating learning environments for the kids. While we might not be able to replace the experiences of an in-person physical classroom, we can still set up an online environment that is engaging, developmentally suited, and effective to help children continue to learn, maintain connections with the teachers and peers. Now, to achieve substantial learning outcomes and success in this process, our first and foremost task is to establish an excellent rapport with our students and strengthen our partnership with parents. I believe that most of you are already adept at doing this, and some of you are in the process of getting there. I have a few tips to share. So according to me, a kindergarten teacher is expected to be versatile and dynamic with an absolutely joyful face. Keep smiling. Yeah. She should be enthusiastic and overzealous, personally and professionally. She should be passionate and patient, fun-loving, playful, dramatic, articulate, tactful, sometimes animated, excited, flexible, capable of clowning around when needed, at times crazy, of course, in a positive way, and sometimes even silly. And believe me, you have more tools in your toolbox than you might think. So discover and use them to create excitement and fondness in children so that they look forward to attending your sessions. And remember, if the child displays eagerness to join your lessons, half the battle is already won. Now, the question is, how do you build a good rapport with your student? How do you establish the connection that is needed? Now, what you could do is, here are a couple of ideas that I would like to share with you. Firstly, in the class, call your students by name. Use students' names to greet them when they join in the session and also as they leave. In fact, as often as possible for that matter. When students hear the name, they feel seen and valued. Don't let them forget that you see them, you know them, and they are being heard. Secondly, show your students your world, your pet, your house, your plants, your desk, etc. Give them the opportunity to connect with you, to let them see you as a real human being. And by making yourself vulnerable, your students will begin to connect and become vulnerable too. And they tend to begin conversations with you about their lives, their feelings, and their hardships. Now, there's no harm. No harm can come from a teacher opening up to a student. Just like everything else in a classroom, this needs to be modeled. And finally, when you begin your circle time by meeting and greeting children, give them an opportunity to initiate conversation, do a little chit chat, and allow them to lead the way. Give them time to familiarize and socialize with other students, and if required, act as a link to help them communicate with each other. Display your active involvement in the discussion. Ask questions about their home, friends, pets, toys, etc. And as I mentioned already, share your own experiences to bond with them. These interactions will help you build up trust and strengthen your relationship to give them a feeling of safety and security. There will be exceptions. Some shy, reluctant speakers or maybe new students would just stay passive. Perhaps they need more time to adapt and get used to your ways. So relax, be flexible, and give them that time. And if you feel that intervention of parents is required and it will benefit the child, please go ahead, ask the parents to support you. Now, once you begin interacting with children, you will get an insight of their likes, dislikes, a topic that interests them, a discussion that sparks their excitement, an activity that triggers enthusiasm, and use this information to plan engaging and effective virtual lessons. For instance, if children have expressed enjoyment in spending time at the beach, you might choose to read a book or sing a song, do a theme party, take them on a virtual tour, etc. There are many, many ways of taking this up. And these activities could be based on ocean and sea animals. So this is just an example. You can try many other things depending on what the children like. Now try taking your own discretion at times and choose varied activities, execute it in the class, and observe the response of the students. So when you get these cues from their responses, it's easier to decide activities that are most popular, enjoyable, engaging, and effective. So when the children learn what they like what they learn, and this retains for long. So this can be one effective way. Now, organizing resources, and being prepared well ahead of time is very important. When you plan the activities, ensure that you have considered different developmental domains and milestones. To enhance self-learning and retention in children, these domains have to be looked into. And for an overall development, I think, yeah, these milestones are important to take up. Now, be creative to design activities that are an amalgamation of various skills, not just one skill. You can think of some activities that are a potpourri of many skills. And theme-based and project-based learning are becoming very popular these days. And these can be planned in small steps. So you can try these, and believe me, as a preschool teacher, you must have already, you must be doing and trying these strategies in your physical classrooms. However, at this time, it is important to explore meaningful and effective ways to use them in your virtual classrooms. How would you use those in your virtual classrooms? As I talked about the developmental domains, you could include activities catering to their social emotional development. It is important to acknowledge the feelings and emotions of your students and provide them with the support and guidance to help them recognize those emotions. And while you are encouraging the kids to communicate and express their feelings, you can extend emotional help by talking through and doing some well-being activities. For instance, in your circle time, during your circle time or during your meet and greet time, you come across someone who is looking sad, who is a little aggressive. You could to calm them down, you could do some activities, help them with a few mindfulness activities, some breathing exercises, kind of yoga or brief meditation to help children relax and develop emotional awareness. Make sure that you have some strategies you can give kids to help them learn how to self-regulate. One of the most important goals in any early childhood program is to help kids develop self-regulation skills. So ensure that you are incorporating feelings, emotions, social emotional learning into each of your virtual sessions. And the important part of having a good virtual lesson is promoting these social emotional skills. Try to invite, the other thing is like, you can invite conversations about what life is like at home for the children, and the languages of and the different food that children enjoy, to learn from each other and to celebrate the diversity of your classroom. You can do some activities based on that. Have conversations or try a few activities related to discussing feelings, emotions, and differences in cultures. Now, for physical development, you could put on some music to dance to, and for a change of pace, you can play freeze dance by pausing the song every few seconds. Encourage children to move like different animals, like hop like a rabbit, gallop like a horse, slither like a snake, etc. And Simon Says and red light, green light, they are tried and true physical games, and they're quite popular. So if possible, incorporate physical movements in your literacy and numeracy classes. For language literacy and numeracy development, you can have virtual story time. It's a great way to practice language and literacy development, to expand upon your stories. You might you can ask children follow-up questions at the end of the stories. You can ask them to talk about the characters. You can invite them to share some alternate endings. Words when you read these books, the words that you take from reading these stories can be a stimulation and impetus for conversations about different letters and letter sounds. Um, Apart from this, you can include drama and acting, following actions, sing along, character play with expression, use voice modulation and intonation so that you can break the monotony, especially while reading stories. So, yeah, be a little dramatic. Organize a book week, inform the parents and involve them to help the children to dress up as book characters. Ask them to carry their favorite book to the virtual session and help them showcase themselves. Don't forget to spotlight them. If your virtual lessons begin to feel stale or you just want to spice them up, try incorporating puppets, sing a new song, or you can teach them some sign languages. Signs which you would eventually use in your classroom can be taught to them. And you can encourage the kids to talk by doing some activities. One of them is like a daily challenge. To create a challenge, you can invite your students to find something specific in their house around them and send you a picture. And then you can collate it and invite the students the next day. And you can invite the students to talk about the picture that they send and ask them questions. You can ask them very closed-ended questions like, which animal is taller? How many stars does it have? Does your stuffed animal have a name? All these things. So conduct talk shows, have demonstrations, ask parents to help organize resources required for doing some simple experiments. For example, making a lemonade, a popsicle. It is simple and children love it. So invite specialists. You can invite some guest speakers to talk. Parents, you can request the parents to volunteer. They are a great resource. You can ask them to volunteer to speak and demonstrate their areas of expertise. For example, if you have a dentist parent, you could request them to demonstrate how to take care of your oral health. And some parents who love to bake could conduct a baking session for the children. Somebody who likes to make chocolate can teach the children to make chocolate. Maybe the children are not doing, if it is not possible that they do it at the same time, because it involves a lot of other things other than just getting the chocolate. But what you can ask them to do is just look at and understand how it's being done, and just enjoy the process of making it, preparing it. Okay, and sometimes you can also here you can involve some numeracy where you are measuring you are using measurement for making these recipes. And and sometimes some person who is very much involved in gardening can also teach the children how to take care of a plant and what are the requirements for a plant to grow. So these are a few activities that you could involve in your planning that are more interactive rather than just sitting and learning. So yeah, and above all, there are websites for virtual field trips. Now, there are many, if you go online, you'll come across many virtual field trips for children. Children are, actually, these days, our children are missing these educational trips. So you can decide a day for a virtual trip, give them instructions as to what they should wear, what kind of shoes, what they carry, a backpack, a water bottle, all this virtually, but they get a sense and feeling that these are the things required for going for a field trip. And a day before the scheduled activity in one of your lessons, you can ask them to gather the required items for the trip. And during the activity, when you begin with this activity, give a running commentary maybe. Ask them to be careful, watch out for things, etc. Just be creative. Use your ideas to make it an interactive and playful activity. Have your reflection sessions. Ask them questions. Ask them questions so that you can gauge their learning. And there are innumerable resources and digital tools online. And if you come across something that is not exactly matching to or what you would plan for your children, just tweak it a little bit. And according to your level of students, you can tweak it. Be innovative, be creative, and I know preschool teachers are pretty good at that. So yeah, you can plan interactive numeracy games and puzzles that lead to solving simple real-life problems. You can encourage children to think critically. You can help them with spatial arrangement. Besides this, counting and sorting items, finding shapes and patterns around the room, measuring with cups and spoons, etc., can keep them occupied and moving out of their seats. So it's important that they are not sitting at one place all the time. There should be some kind of activity happening consistently. So, and overall, the cognitive development can be looked into by creating these kind of activities where there is a scope of brain development. Children's brain develop during conversations and while trying and learning new concepts and activities. So that is important. And most importantly, learning should be a playful experience for them. Praise them, give them incentives, points. Virtual stickers work very well, and give them in abundance to celebrate their achievements and to make them feel that they are excelling in whatever they do and that they are special and wanted in your classroom. Finally, I would like to lay emphasis on having a growth mindset. There will be times when the planned activity becomes a flop or failure in the classroom when executed. So there could be times when you wouldn't have accomplished the expected learning objective. So don't fret, never fret. Just try to do it another day, improvise on it, tweak it a little bit to make it more successful, find another one, and just keep working. Taking risks and practicing resilience are attributes of progressive learners. So have a growth mindset. Explore your creative talents, research skills, and innovate ideas. And don't forget to share it with your team members and co-teachers. I feel that every school should organize professional learning communities so that the teachers can share and reflect on ideas, to discuss your success stories and failures, collaborate and learn from each other to enhance teaching practices. Something that I find beneficial is joining educational forums. And these days, there are many educational groups that you can join to collaborate globally with teachers like you. And I find it an excellent way to stay on top of new research, emerging technological tools, and for classroom and professional development. Now, I'm going to take you quickly through a couple of slides that can add to your knowledge and help you elevate your teaching and learning experiences. And let me share it with you. Give me a moment, please. Yeah, I hope you can all see the slides. Now, this has been our topic, making virtual learning engaging, effective, and exciting. When you go to the classroom, it's important that you present your best online self, looking at the visuals and audio that you're going to use. Try to keep them perfect, look presentable, have a simple background that works the best. It just eliminates any kind of distractions. And students should be able to see your face, because that motivates them, and they know that you are interested in whatever they're doing. And of course, it's vice versa. They should be interested in whatever you do. So yeah, keep visual materials appealing, clear, and of good quality, because that can otherwise, make this activity boring if the children are not able to see what you are trying to show them. Quality of your video and audio are important. Like I said, video and audio is important. Now, when it comes to audio, it's also important that you change the tone of your voice to introduce new activities or mix up the tempo of your class. You practice storytelling skills and offer praise for whatever the children do. Ensure that audio clips you plan to use are of good quality. Audio and video of good quality is important. And a reliable internet connection. This will ensure that your audio and video lessons are perfect. So communication and partnership, one of the most important areas. Support and coach parents to be able to engage learners in inquiry, daily home routines, and quality family time. Routines do help children to understand the schedule for the day, and they know exactly what is going to happen next and what we are going to do next. Virtual parent teaching conferences can be a great way to connect with families. Create a platform where parents can reach you and communicate information. So at this age, with preschoolers, I feel that it's important. The early learners, the parents with kindergarten children, they should be able to connect with you as often as possible. They should be able to connect you to discuss any situation or problem that they are facing with the learning process. So it's important that you have a platform where they can discuss with you. Invite them to be part of your virtual events. Sometimes called, I feel that parents should be around the child when the classes are happening, so that they can check on the child's what do you say? Whether the child is informed to understand and take from your lessons. So it's important that we look at the child's behavior and mind at that time. Use technology to your advantage. There are lots of technical tools that you can reach out to. Teaching online comes with its challenges, but it also puts a whole load of really cool tools at your fingertips. I completely agree with this. You can use the technology to add variety to your lessons and keep the students engaged. Explain the students how to use the tools so that they feel confident. And as a teacher, you should be very confident with the tool yourself. Use them creatively to liven up your lessons. Use digital fun rewards to you can use digital fun rewards to entice students. and give them some extra free play, or give them some drawing tools to once they achieve the objective for the day, they can use those tools, and it's kind of a reward for them. So make it interesting. Record your sessions. This could be useful for review and reinforcement of some of the topics. Even the parents could do this if they feel that the child needs, or the child would not have been in a mood to learn that day, on a particular day. If in any case, the child misses the class, you can use it for review and reinforcement. And of course, it's a gift of flexibility, because you are flexible to um, uh, you are flexible to use these recorded sessions according to your situation, because some of the parents are working parents, and they are dealing with a lot of different things, difficulties at this point with the pandemic and the children learning from home. So it is a it's a boon if you have the recorded sessions. It is also beneficial in case of technical or network issues, because sometimes if the parents are facing some technical issues at home, this comes handy, and it can help you with avoiding any kind of learning gaps. Share students' work. I find this to be very effective, very important. When the children do an activity, if there's something that they have presented, spotlight the student, and share their work. You can have a wall of fame in your virtual space, and try to encourage them by sharing their work with other children. It gives them ownership over their work and creates motivation for getting their work done and to the best of their ability. So yes, they are encouraged, they are motivated to do better than that, and they always put in 100% effort in doing their work. Students love an audience, they love to have their work displayed, and they love the affirmation that what they're doing is being seen and is being appreciated. Keep the duration of activity short. Very important. Kindergartners have fairly short concentration spans. You will all agree with me. So for that, you need to keep short and varied activities that can be engaging and productive. You can keep changing the activities. You can give them a break, make them move around, do other things, and then get back to their seats. Be flexible. If you're not able to finish the activity in that lesson, and if you sense that the children are not able to focus, then it's best that you complete the activity some other time. Reflection and feedback is important. You can make it as simple for kindergartners, to reflect on the activities that you do. How did they like the activity? What do they think about it? Just very, very in a very basic manner. Give them feedback to as what else could they do to when you talk to them and give them an activity. When they get back to you with the activity, what you sense from the activity, what you notice and observe, you just give them a little feedback on how it could have been better. Maybe in a very, very simple way, because at that stage, I think that's what we need to do. Just keep it very simple. And of course, the teachers need to have a growth mindset. I've already talked about this. So take the risk and don't give up. There will be times when you get frustrated and you're not able to achieve what you have planned. You can just keep trying, keep working, be innovative. Ask your friends, ask people around you. Talk to someone who is already in that profession, and find a way. there are different ways of um, you know making things easier. So yes, and that's it for today. Thank you. Have a good day, and I wish you all a um, very beautiful day and a lovely weekend ahead. Thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, I like to thank all the audience to being a wonderful audience and being patient. And of course, hello kids, to invite me here. Um, yeah, thank you, hello kids, and thank you, audience, and thank you, Samapika. Okay, if you all have any questions, you could use the chat box. Any questions from the audience? I'm waiting for any questions if you have. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. Yeah. How do you motivate child for you writing? Okay. So, of course, there are many playway methods that can develop interest in the children. You can begin with some talking activities. Once the child knows what you're talking and what the topic is, he would be more confident to begin with writing. If the child is too young and is just learning how to write letters, just just give them cutouts. Just ask them to pin or use a pin or a pencil to poke through the paper and check out what the shape is. If it is just the initial stages, later stages, you can encourage them to write simple sentences. You read books to them, ask them to look at the words. Reading books will make your child very confident, and I think at this stage the children should be reading a lot of books with the parents. The children should be able to read a set of words, and when they are constantly looking at words and pictures and what you're talking to them, when they are they have a lot of ideas of, okay, this is what my teachers are talking to me about, and this is what we have been discussing in the class, this is what the other children are talking about. Then they do collect a lot of information and ideas, and once they have those ideas, if the child knows to write, he will definitely be able to express himself in writing, himself or herself in writing. There's another question here. Which are the very first few activities we should do with playgroup kids and how? I think with the playgroup kids, it's more of singing and dancing and moving and movements and action words. A lot of action words. When you're the children are too young to start writing. Writing comes last. So you begin with a lot of activities that involve physical movement, and as I told you, reading to them, there's nothing that can beat this. Reading to them is very important, and reading to them books with visuals is very impactful. So I think it's the doing activities that you need to do first, and help them enhance their vocabulary, the small words that you continuously talk to them. Repetition does help. So you can read the same book 2 3 times, maybe with a gap of uh, with some gap. And of course, every time you read it, put in your own expressions and put in your own stories, put in your own, you can make a few changes here and there. And I think that is pretty impactful. Children learn a lot just by doing things. So to begin with, you have to do things. Let them be self learners. When I say self learners, you keep talking to them, you give them something, see how they react to it. Ask them. I suppose you give them a few blocks and ask her or him to create something out of it. I think they will be able to, come up with something. And every time they come up with something, you just have to say, bravo, you did a perfect job. You are too good at it. Excellent. I like it. This is how I would have done. So these things, just keep motivating. Writing comes towards the end, so they will learn writing. When they start writing, I've experienced it. When they start writing, they just don't stop writing, because they have a lot of things that they would have already heard, they would have already been doing, they would have already been looking at, observing, noticing. So when they learn to write, they write. They love to write. So yeah, just keep motivating them. Any other questions? Yeah, I'm waiting for some more questions if you have any. Okay, have a lovely weekend. And it was wonderful having you here. And once again, thank you all. Thank you, Hello Kids. And thank you, Sonapika.